India's National Human Rights Commission suddenly grabbed headlines in 2021. A highly controversial Supreme Court judge was made its chief, Justice Arun Mishra. He was appointed as NHRC Chief just 9 months after his retirement from the Supreme Court. During his stint in the Apex Court, Mishra often found himself in controversies. Most notably, in early 2020, Arun Mishra described Prime Minister Narendra Modi as a quote-unquote internationally acclaimed visionary at a public forum. He hailed the versatile genius of Mr. Modi to think globally and act locally. That controversy and several of his judgments where he was seen siding with the centre was looked at very critically by several experts. Justice Mishra's appointment as NHRC Chief was even looked at as a post-retirement gift by the Modi government, an appointment to an institution that is found wanting on several counts. Now the NHRC has a new chief, with a strong dissent note by Congress MP Rahul Gandhi and party president Mallikarjun Kharge. Hello and welcome, I'm Shubham Chohan. Let's get started. India has got a new chief of the National Human Rights Commission, Justice V Ramasubramanian. He was a judge of the Supreme Court between 2019 and 2023. Before that, he practiced law at the Madras High Court for over 2 decades. In 2016, he was transferred at his request to the High Court of Judicature at Hyderabad for Andhra Pradesh and Telangana. After the bifurcation of the High Courts in 2019, he continued as a judge in the Telangana High Court. He also served as the Chief Justice of the Himachal Pradesh High Court briefly in 2019. During his stint in the Apex Court, Justice V Ramasubramanian authored 102 judgments. Among his key judgments included setting aside a circular by the Reserve Bank of India. The RBI in April 2018 had issued a circular ban on trading in cryptocurrencies such as Bitcoin and Ethereum. In another case, Justice Ramasubramanian was part of a majority decision that said a minister's statement could not be attributed to the government and the minister himself would be liable for such statements. The court was deciding on the issue if greater restrictions could be imposed on the right to free speech of ministers, MPs, MLAs and other persons holding high office who, like we have seen sometimes, made statements which tend to violate the fundamental rights of citizens. In 2021, he, along with Justices Sanjay Kaul, A.S. Bopanna, closed the suo motu case against former Chief Justice of India, Ranjan Gogoi. It was initiated to examine if there was, quote-unquote, a larger conspiracy behind the allegations of sexual harassment against Ranjan Gogoi. The 3-judge bench said that the possibility of the recovery of electronic evidence in relation to the case was unlikely. In an interview to the Indian Express, Justice Ramasubramanian defended the charges against Gogoi. He said, "People should know that the endeavor of every inquiry is to find the truth. But I think we have become more focused on procedure than on actually seeking what is the truth. Today, if a person can create a false narrative and can take care of procedure, he can enthrone falsehood. If a person does not take care of procedural safeguards, the truth itself will become the casualty. In the case of Chief Justice Ranjan Gogoi, I will boldly say that he was not at fault. Nobody knows what is true. Truth is stranger than fiction. I know the truth. He is innocent." More recently, in 2024, Justice Ramasubramanian was among the 13 former Supreme Court judges who attended the Ram Temple consecration in Ayodhya. Justice Ramasubramanian's name as NHRC Chief was given by a panel comprising Prime Minister Narendra Modi, Home Minister Amit Shah, Lok Sabha Speaker Om Birla, Rajya Sabha Deputy Chairperson Harivansh Narayan Singh, Lok Sabha Leader of Opposition Rahul Gandhi, and Rajya Sabha Leader of Opposition Mallikarjun Kharge. The panel also selected Priyank Kanungu and Justice Vidyut Ranjan Sarangi as members of NHRC. India's President Droupadi Murmu officially appointed them on Monday. Leaders of opposition in Parliament, Mallikarjun Kharge and Rahul Gandhi, expressed their disagreement at the selection panel meeting of the NHRC. In their dissent note circulating widely on social media, Kharge and Rahul said the process for choosing the NHRC chief is quote-unquote fundamentally flawed. The Congress leaders also said that the selection process adopted by the NHRC was a predetermined exercise that ignored mutual consultation and consensus. The panel, Kharge and Rahul wrote, relied solely on numerical majority to finalize the names and not diversity. The 2 Congress leaders reminded that the NHRC's job was to protect human rights, particularly of those from the oppressed or minority community. Keeping that in mind, both Kharge and Gandhi proposed the names of Justice Rohinton Fali Nariman and Justice K.M. Joseph for the position. The 2 LOPs said Justice R.F. Nariman, who is an eminent legal voice belonging to the Parsi community, and Justice K.M. Joseph, who is a Christian and another well-experienced judge, would make for ideal candidates. Interestingly, until 2019, the rule said only a former Chief Justice of India is eligible to be the NHRC Chief. The Modi government brought in an amendment which included former Supreme Court judges too in its ambit, along with former CJIs. The amendment also increased the members of the commission who have knowledge of human rights issues from 2 to 3, out of which 1 must be a woman. It's this amendment that is said to have helped Justice Mishra's case in becoming the NHRC chief. Mallikarjun Kharge had opposed Mishra's appointment back then as well. Which brings us to the current state of the NHRC. This body was created in 1993 with a clear-cut aim: protection and promotion of human rights like right to life, liberty, equality, and dignity. So whenever human rights are violated, the NHRC or the respective state commissions should investigate and take remedial action. In other words, they are the watchdog for human rights in the country. Or that's what they're supposed to be. Over the years, several human rights experts have pointed out that the NHRC has been reduced to an ornamental body, busy showering praises on the government and not paying adequate attention to its core job. In May this year, the Global Alliance of National Human Rights Institutions deferred accreditation for India's NHRC for the second year in a row. GANHRI is a Geneva-based organization that represents 120 national human rights institutions. Importantly, it's affiliated with the United Nations Human Rights Office. Now, without accreditation from this body, NHRC cannot represent India or vote at the UN Human Rights Council. So why was India's accreditation deferred? In short, there are question marks on whether NHRC follows something called Paris Principles. Adopted by the UN General Assembly, the principles lay down minimum standards that NHRIs must meet in order to be considered credible and to operate effectively. These include autonomy from the government, diversity in its membership, adequate resources, powers of investigation, and being well equipped to receive complaints. In 2023, a committee of GANHRI responsible for renewing accreditations found that India's NHRC did not comply entirely with the Paris Principles. Between 2006 and 16, the NHRC had an A accreditation, which means full compliance of the Paris Principles. In 2016, that was taken away briefly because the NHRC was seen to have too much political interference. The NHRC eventually got the A accreditation back in 2017. But the same allegation seems to be haunting the NHRC again, something that doesn't bode well for a human rights watchdog domestically and internationally. So that was the global accreditation part. What about the NHRC's track record? What does its caseload look like? Official data shows the number of cases registered in NHRC has increased from about 76,000 in 2019 to more than 112,000 in 2022. As of this year, last available data shows 44,000 cases have been received. But that's one part. A report by the Print in 2023 has found of the 8.5 lakh cases disposed by the NHRC from 2010 to 2020, 53% of these were dismissed on technical grounds and not thoroughly examined. The Print's detailed story also cites the NHRC's 2019-2020 annual report that says monetary compensation was ordered in only 0.5% cases. Out of the total number of compensation awards, only 0.14% had been complied with as of June 2020. Even during Justice Mishra's tenure, when important human rights violations came to light, including the ones in Manipur and even in Jammu and Kashmir, experts point out that the NHRC response was lackluster, to say the least. The focus seemed to be elsewhere. In September 2023, Mishra said that the global community should not be bothered about India's situation. He said that he did not find any gross violation of human rights taking place in the country at present. Mishra says that it is incorrect to say that there is a rise in human rights violation in the country on the basis of the Manipur incident. Here's what he said. Manipur is isolated, an incident where ethnic violence is going on, and as the Human Rights Commission, we have done our duty to ensure that the two groups who were fighting with each other on ethnic issues should not continue too long. Long story short, the NHRC is still plagued with allegations of bias in appointments, failure to act on human rights violations, staff shortage, lack of diversity, poor cooperation with civil society, and negligible action on its reports. Few years back, the then chairperson, Justice H.L. Dattu, publicly had called the NHRC a toothless tiger. And Justice V Ramasubramanian is tasked with taking this toothless tiger forward in the hope that not just the NHRC, India's track record on human rights sees an improvement. That's all we have for this report. Do like and share this video, comment and let us know what your views are, and of course, subscribe to HW News English on YouTube for more such videos. Thanks for watching.
Stay ahead with our cutting-edge news app. Instantly access the latest shorts in just 1 minute and breaking news in just 50 words. Download now for a smarter, faster news experience.